Welcome back to the garage, or if you're new to the channel and this is the first video of mine that you've seen, welcome to the garage. My name is Zane. In today's video, I've got some project updates on a few of the projects that are sitting around the place, a few different parts that I bought for them off camera, and I actually ran across a few tools and miscellaneous items at some estate sales and auctions over the last couple of weeks. Now it's October in Missouri, it's about the first week, and there's actually some auctions that are booked all the way up until January, so you never really know what I can come up with next. And there's one going on at the end of October that's got a really interesting item. I won't go over that in this video, but whenever the auction takes place, I may even take you along and do some live bidding. But anyways, let me take you down off the camera stand and show you what I got going on. Now first things first, I would really like to take a moment and thank the amazing fan base that I have here on YouTube. I have over 7,000 subscribers. I have a ton of very nice comments and helpful tips and tricks, it seems like every time I put a video out, and I really cannot thank you all enough for that. It really helps me out and it motivates me to come out and work on these projects a lot more. The thumbs up and the likes on these videos, people even sharing them to their friends, helps me out more than you would ever even know. But this truck here is my 1959 International AC 170. In the last video, I actually got the truck to start up and run, but it did not want to idle. So I filmed a little bit more on this truck. I rebuilt the carburetor completely, which I'll have in the next video on this truck. But when I put it back on and started it up, it done basically the exact same thing it was doing before. So I think I figured it down to a vacuum leak, but just look forward to some more content on this truck. And I removed the rear drive shaft that was cut by the previous owner, so I put the truck in four-wheel drive, and it actually did move about 4 feet from where it was at under its own power. But I would like to really find a roof skin for it before the wintertime rolls around. I've been looking on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, haven't run across anything yet, but other than some surface rust, this cab on this old truck is actually in pretty nice shape. Now the next project that I wanted to give an update on is my 1978 Ford F600 four-wheel drive. If you watched my last video, I took the flatbed off of the back, and I've kind of got to where I can strip this truck down a little bit more. I actually have a 1979 Ford F600 that's a rollback. If you're not familiar with the videos, I'm going to combine this truck and that rollback and make a 2-ton four-wheel drive rollback truck that can go and get a project from basically anywhere, in a ravine, in a big mud pit, wherever I want to go and take it. This truck should be capable of getting it out whenever I get it done. Now this has a big block Ford engine in it, 5-speed manual transmission, and Rockwell axles underneath of it. Now I hopefully will do another video before winter. I really want to try to get this into my garage and pull this massive bumper off the front of it for right now. I still have to look up and see how heavy duty this winch is on here. I'm not really sure of the weight rating on it, but look forward to another video on that before this winter rolls around. Before I forget, there's one other thing that I wanted to talk to you all about, and that is these two channels right here that have helped me out basically from day one here on YouTube. I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, I don't think, if it was for them. They got me a lot of views and a lot of subscribers. Now the first channel is John Fox at the Fox Shop. He has a beautiful 1994 Ford F-150 that he bought when it was just a few years old. He's actually repainted the truck completely, put a lift and some nice wheels and tires on it. He also has an OBS Ford Crew Cab project that he bought a while back. It's a 4-door long bed F350 with a 7.3 IDI and an automatic transmission. It's a little bit rusty, but he's going to fix the cab corners and rockers and repaint that truck. He also does farming videos, which are very interesting if you're like me and you're kind of left out of the loop. The next channel is James Rogers and Kyle Singleton of Central Oregon Shenanigans. Now, James from the channel has a 1978 Ford Bronco that he put a lift and some wheels and tires on. He's got that old rig looking really nice. They also have a video series on a project that they built and later sold, a 2002 Ford Expedition that they swapped a 4BT Cummins into it. They bought an adapter plate, built their own motor mounts, and done their own wiring on that truck, and got a really nice looking rig out of it. Now, James is also rebuilding a 429 for a step-side Ford truck project that he's got. And Kyle from the channel also has a Heritage Body Style Ford F-150 that he bought. The previous owner put a 4BT Cummins in it, but didn't do a very good job, so they're going back through that project and they're actually fixing a few things that were wrong with it so he can actually get it back out on the road and daily drive it. But go ahead and check both of these channels out, and if you really like what you see, go ahead and subscribe to them and show them some love. Just do me a favor, drop down the comment section and tell them Zane sent you. Now, something that I've been searching for quite some time is actually directly right in front of me. And that's this gigantic vise I ran across on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I've been looking for a bigger one to put outside of my garage, maybe put it on a post where I can stick it in the ground, and I can keep all kinds of welding slag and grinding debris from entering the garage. Now, this thing measures from end to end 21 inches long, and you can see how deep the jaws are on this vise. It is a Reed manufacturing, made in USA. I don't really know how old this is, but at the same time I've looked up quite a few online, and a lot of them do not have this serrated bottom jaw. You can see the screw at the bottom turns on it. A fellow put it on Facebook Marketplace. I could not pass it up for $100. I've seen these go online, not this same manufacturer, but others, for around $600 to $700 and even more depending on how old they are. But the gentleman I bought this from worked for a company that tore down abandoned buildings, and this vise came from the basement of a school in St. Louis, Missouri. No real significant updates on the Chevy boom truck as of right now. If you recall the first video I done, and basically the only video that I've ever done, this truck caught on fire the first time I started it up once I got it to the house, so it's just basically sat. I just wanted to kind of throw this into the video and give my buddy Scott from Old Crony's Garage an update and tell him that I actually did move it from where it's been sitting for about the last 8 months or so. Now, I'll probably do another video on this, throwing some spark plugs and some spark plug wires on it, just doing some other odds and ends to it, maybe fixing some of the crispy wiring that's on the truck. But I wanted to show this while I'm walking down to the lower shed to give you an update on something else I ran across. But kind of have to be careful when I'm walking by this truck. I'll just leave that right there. Now, I've been on the lookout for another toolbox for my brown rollback truck for quite some time now, and usually any time I run across one that's used, it's so far away I can't really justify spending the time or money to go get it. And if you've priced these brand new, whether they're steel or aluminum, they're crazy expensive. So I've been looking for a used one, and I ran across this deal. It was about a 5-minute drive from where I live at right now, and the gentleman that I got these from bought a homemade Ford F-350 service truck, and these toolboxes were just kind of adapted into that homemade bed. Now, he bought the truck for the engine and transmission, and he was just kind of parting the rest of the truck out, so he was needing to get rid of these. He had them stacked up in his garage, had them on Facebook Marketplace for $60 a piece, which is already a crazy cheap price for these toolboxes. Now, these are Ross & Koenig brand, so they are a good brand name toolbox for a truck. Now, I went and talked to this gentleman, and about 10-minute conversation, he said that he really needs them out of his garage. He'd sell all 4 of them for $200. So I could not pass them up. I wasn't actually really wanting to buy all 4 of them, but since he threw that price out there, I figured that I would. I originally went there to buy the smallest one, and I do have the sizes. I'll hold them up on the screen, and you can pause the video if you want to check the prices out. Now, the price is crazy because the small one that I was looking to get, if you buy that brand new, is over $300. Now, these are not brand new by any means. You can see there is some rust on the side of them where the powder coat is chipping off, and there is a little bit of rust down here and a little hole, but all of this is fixable, and it's definitely worth spending the money on something cheap like this rather than having a lot of money tied up in brand new boxes that could just easily get damaged. Now, before I forget, I also wanted to mention and thank these 4 YouTube channels for helping me out along the way as well. Now, all 4 of these channels have basically got started within the last year or so here on YouTube, and they got me a lot of views and subscribers, so I want to try to do the same thing for them. Now, the first channel is Wesley Johnson at Wesley Johnson. He's got an F600 4-wheel drive project like my yellow truck that he rebuilt and installed a winch on the front of. He built a flatbed for the back of the truck, and he's actually got a winch to go on that flatbed to help drag up certain projects on the back of the truck. Now, he also has an 875 Hensley excavator project that he bought a few years ago, It's got some cracks in the rails on it that he's going to have to clean up and re-weld to get that machine going again. Then there's Cody at Y-Doc Productions, who does tool restorations. Now let me tell you, he takes these tools that are in terrible shape and makes them look brand new again. I really don't know how he does it. I mean, I've restored tools myself, and this guy does a fantastic job. He also has a 1994 Ford F-350 crew cab truck that he bought, and he also has a second-gen Dodge Ram, has a few videos on both of those trucks. Then you got Jason at Sparks Fire and Baling Wire. He's in the middle of rebuilding and restoring an Alice Chalmers WD-45. He's actually rebuilt and repainted a John Deere 185 riding mower and a Bridgeport 2J mill. And then you've got James at Third Coast OBS, who has a 1993 Ford Lightning project truck. He recently pulled the transmission out of the truck. Next up is the engine. He's going to have both of those built, and he's going to put them back in the truck and get that all fixed up and nice and new again. And he also has a 1992 Ford F-150 that he's done some head gasket repair videos on, where if you're looking to repair your head gasket on a 300 inline 6, those videos would definitely be helpful. He also has a little cute dog named Jax that's always in the background trying to steal the limelight from him. Now you can see the subscriber count on these channels is fairly small, so if you like what you see, go ahead and check their videos out and show them some love. Just drop down the comment section, do me a favor, tell them Zane sent you. Now most of my videos, if you've watched them, are serious content. I try not to joke around too much in there. I know some people don't like the jokes, but just because I have a serious channel doesn't mean I can't run across something and have a little bit of fun with it. Now these are two different sets of agricultural tires that I ran across at a business that done a lot of reselling that went out of business. So I bought both sets. They're both the same height, but these ones here are a little bit narrower and these ones here are kind of wide. But the size on them is 18.4 by 16.1. They all four have wheels in them. You can see this one has an 8-lug pattern, and this set of wheels has an even bigger 8-lug pattern. Now there is a welding shop or a metal shop that's close to me that sells steel, and what I think I'll do is either measure across here and see if they can make a 6-lug adapter, or I might even try to cut the centers out of a few of those split rims, and they may either end up for the time being on the yellow F600 or my old International 4-wheel drive. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to tear the truck up or anything, but I can still have some fun with it. And I've ran across a couple of those trucks like the two that I have. You never know, if I run across another, it might get just kind of dedicated to a mud truck. Now all four of these tires have a little bit of dry rot in them, and one or two of the front tires here have one of the lugs missing off of the tread. But I think if anything, I can go ahead and throw some tubes in them, throw them on the truck, and have a little bit of fun. Now when I recorded yesterday, I forgot to talk about this. I also ran across a brand new 33-1250 15. It's an old stock tire. It's been sitting in a shed for a while. There's no dry rot, but you can see that it's never been on the road. I figured I could pick this up for a spare, maybe for my Jeep whenever I get it going, but I paid 20 bucks for it. I know a lot of tire shops around my area go by the date code, and they won't really install a tire that's, you know, a couple years or older, but I figured this would be good for a spare. I picked it up for 20 bucks, and I think that was a phenomenal price for that. Now hopefully you enjoyed today's short update video on some of the projects and some of the stuff that I ran across. If you did enjoy it, please give the video a thumbs up, leave a comment or a question down below. Consider subscribing if this is the kind of content that you're into. And as always, just a friendly reminder that it doesn't matter if you're working on your project in a garage or in your driveway. What matters is that you go out there, you do the job yourself, and you learn more about your project, whatever that project may be. Now that this video is over, how about you go outside and work on something? My name is Zane, and I'll catch you next time.